Good morning, everyone. On this beautiful day in Boulder, you should feel good. You know why? Because they're always advertising in newspapers around the country that Boulder is possibly the healthiest community in the United States, and not only that, the smartest. We are the smartest. We have the highest IQs. And along that line, I'd just like to let you know that we have tested both congregations, the 9 a.m. congregation and the 11 o'clock congregation, and we averaged out the IQs, and you people are 20 points behind the 9 a.m. service, so don't feel bad about it. You can work on it. Do a little more reading. That's good. Is there anybody here from another unity? Okay, anybody here for the first time? Keep your hand, oh, that's right, keep your hand up. We have a gift for you. Hand over here, gift for this person. All right. You're in the right place at the right time, because in this world today, you and I, we need to be able to carry our unity ideal into our lives in order to sustain peace, happiness, joy, and love. We can do that. Regardless of the circumstances, we can transcend over the circumstances and bring that wonderful unity awareness into life everywhere. So you're really going to love this talk being given by Syntyche. Look forward to it.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder. Those of you who are joining us in person and those of you who are joining us online, thank you for spending some time with us on this beautiful Sunday. I'd like to introduce those of you who do not know our good friend here and 35-year member of Unity of Boulder. This is Deb King. She is going to tell you about a new support group that has just started here at Unity of Boulder.
Hi, everyone. So many of you may or may not know that I lost my son when he was 18 years old. We're starting a monthly group at Unity, open to all, don't have to be part of Unity, just within driving distance, called Helping Parents Heal. It's a place where bereaved parents can find support with each other and talk about our grief and our children who've passed on, find resources to aid in the healing process. It doesn't matter how old your child was when they died. They could have been an infant or an adult. No matter how they died, accident, illness, or suicide, no matter how long it's been since they've died. This group takes a spiritual approach and believes the soul lives on past the dropping of the earthly physical body. It's in line with Unity principles. There's also a focus that our departed children may communicate across the veil. So it is, next group, I went to the first one and was really uplifted. It's called Helping Parents Heal. It's taking place in this building, Tuesday, August 29th, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. downstairs. Use the back entrance. Again, it's open to all. And if you're interested in the philosophy of this group, there is a Helping Parents Heal website. I will be there. Any of you who have lost your children, I hope to see you then. Thanks.
Thank you, Deb. Yeah. All right. A few other events we have coming up here at Unity of Boulder. They're still selling tickets for Syntyche Carr, September 22nd and 23rd. She is playing on this stage for 2 nights. The tickets range from $35 to $95. We are not selling the tickets, but they are. You can go to our website, and there is a link that'll take you to where you can buy the tickets for that event. We're very excited to have Syntyche Carr here, very world-famous spiritual and New Age singer. So check that out. Syntyche is bringing back her prosperity class that she has not taught since before the pandemic. It's going to start Tuesday, September 5th, and it's 5 weeks, 5 Tuesdays in a row from 6:30 to 8:30. It's $100 to sign up for the class, and the book is $16, which we do have in the bookstore. And this really is Syntyche's favorite class to teach. This is her specialty. This is her area of focus. We use the techniques that she teaches in this class. It's how we found the house that Syntyche and I actually live in. We never would have thought we actually could afford or get. So this is a wonderful class. I've taken it. It is fantastic. So check that out. You can sign up online in the bookstore or over the phone, however, and just do it. And that starts Tuesday, September 5th. And let's see. So next weekend is Welcome Back Sunday. And this is the Sunday where we welcome everyone back from all their summer fun and travels. Where it's our 11 o'clock service is just going to be a big, huge, fun service. If you ever had a service you wanted to bring someone who is new, or maybe you've been wanting to maybe bring them to Unity, this would be the time. Definitely bring kids, as we're going to have a bouncy castle. We're going to have all sorts of field games outside, like sack races and three-legged races, and there'll be prizes and all kinds of fun for the kids. So definitely Welcome Back Sunday, next Sunday. Come out, bring someone that has never been here before. Let's pack this house. And finally, our ministers today are going to go have lunch and are inviting anyone who would like to join them right over here at 28th and Valmont at La Mariposa Mexican Restaurant. It's good, decently priced Mexican food, and we'll be starting that at 1. So if you'd like to come join us for lunch, it's just 1 block down that way. So, all right, thank you very much.
Good morning. So this is the point in our service where we are making a call for prayer. I know that all of us are in transition and we're all awakening in different ways, and so this is a chance to put a prayer out for someone that might need that prayer at this time. There's prayer sheets in front of you that you can fill the name in. You don't have to put the issue. We know Spirit already knows what is needed before we even ask. We're really just aligning ourselves with this greater power, this greater love we call Source, Spirit, God, and it's okay to put your own name on that piece of paper. And all of you will be prayed over, and your friends will be prayed over every evening by our prayer team, and then on Wednesday nights during our midweek meditation service for a month. And then they will be sent off, the prayer names, to Silent Unity in Unity Village in Missouri, and they will be prayed over for another month. So we're here to have that total healing in every aspect of our lives. And so we're going to invite Heather and Norma to call us in and sing us into it.
Together now in our highest form. Have a great service.
So we're going to play some music for you. If my better half would please join me. Better. Much better.
That was pretty. Very nice. I just got to say I'm stoked about the bouncy house next weekend. I just wanted to say that. Well, I think it's fine building jumbo planes, hitching a ride on a cosmic train, switch on summer from a slot machine. Get what you want if you want it, 'cause you can get anything. I know we've come a long way. We're changing day to day. But tell me, where do the children play? Children play. Fresh green grass, or your lorry loaves, they're pumping petrol gas, and you make them long, and you make them tough, and they just go on and on, and it seems that you can't get off. I know we've come a long way. We're changing day to day to day. But tell me, where do the children play? Children play. All right, boys. Tell us when to die. I know we've come a long way. We're changing day to day. But tell me, where do the children play? Children play.
stand?
What an awesome way to start. I love that song. You guys have sang together for a little while, obviously. How many years have you been singing together? 30? 30 years. Wow. That's a marriage, too. I mean, how beautiful is that to have your partner, that you get to put that music together in your living room and share that creativity and that light and that love with one another. And I love that. Super romantic and cute. So today my talk title is The Journey Beyond Yourself. And I was writing this sermon this week reflecting on the summer that we've had here at Unity and the cycles that we've been through. And it's been a really busy summer this summer. Usually summer, like around May, just gets very quiet around here. And it's just really kind of a contemplative and quiet time every day. And so we really almost get like 3 months of like rejuvenation, and then we head back to Welcome Back Sunday. But this year, right before we went into the summer, we got some news that things are changing, with some things that we have to look at in leadership and in staff and things like that. And so I started my summer deeply going into some shadow work in myself to see if I was the one that is ready to take this center into the next corridor, into the next the evolution of where Unity is going. And so there was not a whole lot of rest, and there was a lot of quiet and walking. But in the midst of all that, I've never had so much counseling in my life. I have been tasked to counseling everyday people, and I usually had maybe 1 or 2 people I see a week, but it was every day, and it was multiple people. And it's an interesting thing to be counseling people while you're going through your own dark night of the soul. And it's amazing to watch the universe and how you're having this mirror experience with another person, and they say something that's like, that's just what I needed to hear. Here I'm holding this space, but how it's really, this interaction with one another and this oneness. It's a holy life, and it's honorable. And I'm standing here now saying that that is the case. But at the beginning of the summer, I was starting to question that there was being a little too much put on my shoulders. And I know that we can only do what God can do through us. I live all the things that I teach, but I was being pushed to a brink that I've been brought to a couple times this lifetime. And I was brought there once again. So there's always deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper work for the spiritual soul, depending on what we signed up to do in a lifetime, right? If you believe in karmic contracts, or you believe in divine life, and that there's some sort of directive to what's supposed to be played out, and yet we all know that there is always free will to choose to step into those things. I did choose to step into this spiritual life. And when you step into a spiritual life, you're letting go of control. And you're allowing a divine unfoldment to be a part of every day, every hour, every week, every month. So one of the things that I came to in all of the sharings with many of you in private and sessions and things like that is that there is a pulse on change. And things are changing faster than they've ever changed in our lives. So it's like things that used to work, like we knew how to manifest something to change. Now all of a sudden it doesn't work. We had these tools that worked till a certain point, and I can't tell you when that cutoff was, if that was before COVID, during COVID, or right now, but we had a way to pull ourselves out of those harder times, pull ourselves up by the spiritual bootstraps, and manifest things to change. And now a lot of us are finding ourselves that we're doing those tools and still not changing. And I believe that all of this is happening because there is this, obviously, this divine awakening that has to be so much bigger, so much broader on a global scale in consciousness, that we're all kind of hitting this door that's that's closed, and we have to find the way through it, right? So it's a stirring up. It's a process of having to be with these situations that aren't changing and really delving into why they are in our lives. Why are they in our lives to be bringing this added pressure, to be bringing this anxiety, to be bringing this unrest? And I know the universe is honorable, and I know we're all in it together, and so we're going to do it together. It's not an individualized thing anymore. I think the call is that we need one another. We need community. We need the mirroring of one another from our highest consciousness. Like I said in those counseling sessions, I'm sure I was sharing things that was helping them, but they didn't understand that they were also lifting me in consciousness. They were helping me understand some of these lower level things that were unhealed in me and mirroring it. Right? We do such great work on one-on-one or in community. And yet we all said we're going to come back from COVID, and we all desired more time with family, more face-to-face with others, and more time with friendship, and cultivating deep relationships where we can have deep spiritual conversations. And as we can see in our congregation, as it's fallen off, and this is a really nice crowd actually for the Sunday before Welcome Back Sunday, so I'm very grateful because I see that we've worked, it played spiritually this summer. You all did attend, which usually it drops off and it's very empty, and it hasn't been this summer, which is extremely, it really makes my heart full that we are doing something right here. But to do a call to action today also to say, if this center means something to you, are you willing to ask your friends and your family members and your friends with kids, and are you brave enough to invite them to this place that holds a space for love and spiritual evolvement, no matter what road you're on? There is no right or wrong road in unity. Unity is a holding place to guide and direct and just hold this womb for divine healing, divine wisdom, divine love. And if we're receiving something from it, then even when you see someone that's having a struggle with a child, you say, hey, there's this place that gives these beautiful tools to your children, that just holds a space that just, they're not going to pump God or Jesus down their throats, or, it's not going to be this dogma experience. It's going to be a spiritual adventure for them to understand the power that lives within them, and that what they're bringing to their mom or their dad or their family members is a direct reflection of what they're receiving from their parents, right? So they understand, when I take that deep breath, and I recognize which we teach in Sunday school is, am I the little me right now, or am I the great me? It's a very, very mild little tool, but it's a tool that kids can relate with. And when they're in the little me, they don't feel good anyway, being that little nasty little, energy that's, raveling the entire household, because vibrationally they're just sitting there, just trying to bring everybody down around them. When I bring this great me, not only do I feel great, but I see that it vibrationally affects my entire family, it affects my teachers, it affects my classmates. Oh, and I don't have any friends. Oh, and all of a sudden I have friends. Because they're using these tools to understand that they're divinely connected to something greater. They're not just identified as a daughter of somebody or a son of a father, or they are God. They are God's children first. They are just given to us to be the advocates, to keep them safe and guide them. But these are God's children that come through us, so they need to be in a spiritual school that teaches them about their intuition, about meditation, about the magic of this unseen realm that's available to each and everybody, from baby to 120 years old. We can change the current of our life no matter when. And those are the kids that we can let them leave at 18 and trust that they have something in them that is protecting them, guiding them, directing them, somewhere to go within themselves when they're in fear, when they're in limitation, where they can make decisions that would devastate our life for the rest of our lives. And they have a language that we can talk through a phone and say, have you used the prayer protection? The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me, and the presence of God watches over me, and wherever I am, God is. And get them to chant it and to say it and to know it. For them to learn the songs they learn downstairs that empowers, that every cell in their body is happy. Every little single cell in my body is happy. Every little single cell in my body is happy. Knowing that the mind and the body heals the body. Someone is living the divine connection with all of this. Nothing can hurt you, make you sick, or make you afraid. Because we are holy. At the core, that's what we are. So last night, I had a wonderful opportunity. My daughter is a dancer on a dance team out of Lyons, out of the town that we manifested the house of the prosperity class, and I've always wanted to live in Lyons all of my adult life. And my ex-husband, whenever I'd say, well, we'd never live there because there's a cement plant and it has bad air, and it was just all this negativity of why we could never live in Lyons. And I actually forgot that I wanted to live there because of that negative influence of just how he kind of dictates, kind of a mentally controlling soul. He's much better now, and he's healing his being, but during that phase. And so when we were looking for a place to buy in Boulder, we were trying to get closer to Boulder from Longmont. We were looking in Gun Barrel, and at one point, it was like one of those like big times where everything just got so much more expensive, we got outbid, and eventually it was like, we just sold both our properties, we have nowhere to land, and it was kind of nerve-wracking. And then we had an opportunity to go out to Lyons to go get something fixed for the church from a person that had a specialty in it, and drove on into this neighborhood, and there was a for sale sign. And when I looked at the price of it, it was exactly the amount of money that we had been approved for a loan. And it all flooded how all my life since I was a child, I wanted to live in Lyons, but all of that didn't work out because the universe was like, you have to remember your calling. You have to remember what you're divinely guided from. But when we've been in like abusive relationships or had hard childhoods or we've had things that cut us, it takes us a while to remember the divine presence within ourselves. But the universe is always trying to get in there and show us what's next. It's us that starts to believe that the door is closed. And I was feeling that way at the beginning of the summer. I thought, I don't know if I can handle if this building is too big for us and we have to move to another building. That's what I was thinking. I just didn't, how could I do that? How could I leave the memories of this place, the productions of 30 years here, performing myself on this stage, having the sound system, the lights, and everything that I ever wanted, and the healing that I've watched people go through in this facility. I was attached to the building. And then I really got it. Unity of Boulder is a radiating center of the Christ consciousness in everyone. Everyone. Unity is not a building. Unity Boulder is not a building. Obviously, we're going to do everything to keep this place. But once I got that, I rested in softness into these changes. Oh, it's the people. And I love you guys. I love you people. And as long as we can stay together, I can do this, right? So last night, my daughter got an opportunity of a lifetime. I was a dancer my whole life, and my older daughter was also a dancer. And I eventually got to dance at Red Rocks. I got some moments in my dancing life. I performed in New York a little bit, but I ended up having a child young, my oldest daughter. So that kind of ended a major dream I had of growing up as a dancer. And last night, my daughter's team got invited to be the backup dancers for the Elephant Revival concert at Planet Bluegrass with 5,000 people. First of all, totally my type of music. And I got to stand there when I really have had this revelation I'm sharing with you right now, just in the last week. I've been in it. I've been working through some stuff, some deep holes, things I've harbored that I've had to resolve this summer. And standing there and listening to this music, the most refined artists, the creative process and the melding between all of these people on this stage and the way that they interact with each other with such reverence and kindness. And sound systems are having issues, and there's this going on, and there's just this soft way, this flowing with when things are going well and when things are falling apart. There just is. They're not human doings, they're human beings. The way they talk with such respect for each other as artists was so phenomenal. And at one point, one of the artists, the violin player, said, "The reason why we've been together for 20 years is because we're all best friends. And when we get together to practice," which they said they practiced for like 40 hours this week for this huge show in Lyons, "we sit down, and if there's any issues between the personalities of us, that's first. We work to find where we compromise, and we have the power and the meeting of the heart and mind. And we don't start rehearsing with instruments until that is clear. And that's why we're still together, because we love each other. And you feel that when these people perform, right?" So I danced all night, and then my daughter and her team got to dance up on that stage, and I had these rushes of memories of my daughter Katya 2.5 years ago in a very lost place during COVID. And I was the most worried I've ever been out of all three of my kids. This was a depression. This was something I'd never faced with any of my kids. She was just gaining weight and just not wanting to move and like living in like hoodies and like hiding her face, and I was just losing her day by day by day. And she was losing all the few friendships she'd cultivated in her life in school, because now she's online and now nobody's calling her. Now she's alone, and it was just this unraveling of watching this journey of my daughter going into this darkness. Until one day I was walking with her, and I said to her, "I miss your smiling face. I miss your joy and your laughter." And something by me saying that day, she just started to share all the limitations she was feeling about herself in mind, body, and spirit. All the insecurities that she had cultivated through life, through the divorce that I had with her father, with everything that she had been through. And I started working with her with affirmations, and it was the first time she really started to get the unity tools. She was in Sunday school, she had the tools, but as parents, we also have to reinvigorate what is being taught down there too, and be spiritual teachers with our children, to build on the tools that are being taught as the parents that are the teachers, which are the advocates and the protectors of these souls that God gave us, right? And we worked about the law of attraction and seeing herself better and seeing herself happy. And I just held a place of every time I saw her, I lit up. I saw that happy kid. I saw that open kid. I saw that child that's willing to face challenges. I saw her as the divine light that she was, and I know, and I knew she was. And she was working with herself, and I was working on her too. And then I brought her to one of my mentors named Zolita Grant, and she took it from there, because there's a point where parents, when our children do go in these places, especially in the teenage years, moms can't get them completely there. We have to hand them off to trusted coaches and things to help them really cultivate These kind of tools where they have trust. They can share that they're upset with us as parents, right, with a mentor. They can have an honest, safe place to grow. And within 6 months of all this, she landed on this dance team, because she had danced all of her life until this upset time happened. And she was greeted by a group of 7 girls. The whole attitude of this dance company is about support, mirroring love. There's no competitive aspect to it. It is 100% about enriching this sisterhood. Because the people that run this place are spiritual beings. And that's their goal with it. So now she found her family. She found her sisters in this world that mirror that. So to watch these kind of girls dancing up there with the support that they had, and to watch the majesty and the light, and to hear this crowd go crazy to see them appear. I could die and go to heaven, honestly. I'm complete. I really and truly am. And her big sister got to see it with me, and I looked at my daughter, Arenya, and we were in tears. It was just, God is so good. God is so honorable. If we do this path and we walk it and we step in even though we don't feel like stepping in, Spirit is walking us to the next unfoldment. What's next? What's next? What's next? And Spirit will show us the way every single time. In spiritual economics, it says, "Who has not exclaimed at some low moment of her life, 'My life has no meaning'?" This sense of meaninglessness is the greatest cause of depression. Only you have meaning. It makes about as much sense to say, "My life has no meaning," as it does to stand in a dark cave with an unlit flashlight in your hand and say, "This place had no light." Jesus would say, "Let your light shine." Meaning is not to be found out there, in a job, in a person, or in a relationship. Meaning is something you release from within yourself. Something was jacked up with that, but we'll figure that out later. Meaning is something you release from within yourself. And that was part of the spiral. It's almost like wherever we go, there we are. It's so true. Like, I think, if I go to Hawaii or I go somewhere, then I'll be happy, right? And then we get there and like, oh, I'm still here. So same thing, different day, right? We bring the meaning. And I was bringing the meaning at the beginning of the summer, thinking all of these things, all these prejudgments, all of these pre-planning of how this could be so upsetting and so disheartening, and all those things probably there will be those things, and there's going to be grief if we have to lose some of this, right? But we're always subject to change. Life is change. Don't you just hate that? Life is always subject to change. And so, when we realize we're the one that has to turn on that flashlight, when we're down in the doldrums, when we're down telling us our stories of how something's going to be resolved, when we could never know how it's going to be resolved, but if we can have faith in everything is working out. Everything is working out, regardless of what it's looking like outside of ourselves. We have to stop believing in what we're seeing outside of ourselves. I had to stop believing what I was seeing in my daughter. I had to unlearn what I was seeing and only see the highest and the best. And that's what I had to do with myself this summer. I had to reclaim her. I had to grow her. I had to love her. And I could only see her as the highest and the best. And that's when we resurrect from the death. That's when the regeneration happens from the degeneration. That's when we rise from the phoenix process. That's when we claim our divine inheritance as divine, perfect children of God. Nothing can hurt us. Nothing can make us afraid. Nothing can make us sick, because we are wholly made in the image, in the likeness of God. Amen.
What comes to me is I just have a vision where we can have that kind of energy and celebration, just the whole world. So this is a time where we're asking for an offering, and you can help contribute to our vision and bring those tools and that transformation not just to this community but to the world. And I want to say too that we tithe here as an organization too. A slide should come up, but the money that you give, we spread out to all kinds of other nonprofits, and we also give to our central unity. So we practice what we're asking you to. So thank you for being here today and contributing to this vision.
They do know that you taught me how to play the guitar. His first lesson was he brought the wire snippers and cut all my strings. I told him I was going to bring the 12 string. He says, that's entirely too many strings. So he's going to snip, and so just stay away from... I know. I'm sorry. It's got 4 strings. In celebration of summer that's still with us.
Friday night. Little light is shining through the window, lets me know everything's alright now. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing with jasmine in my mind. See the paper laying on the sidewalk, a little music from the house next door. So I walk on up to the doorstep, through the screen and across the floor. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing with the jasmine in my mind. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing with the jasmine in my mind. hearts are set for two. Feel the arms that reach out to hold me in the evening when the day is through. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing with the jasmine in my mind. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing with the jasmine in my mind. Thank you very much. That's Louis Jordan. That's Josh. And you know who that is. We'll see you next time around. Happy summer.
Thank you. You guys are awesome. I have a few things I want to share with you that are coming up. First of all, we have Welcome Back Sunday. We really hope you'll join us and bring a dish to share and eat together. And we're going to have all sorts of fun for the kids and fun for us, and very focused discussions at the tables to kind of build what we're adding on to. But we are looking into getting a social media person that would be quite expensive, that completely focuses on nonprofits. And this person is guaranteeing that we would really build the center if we could hire them. And it is out of the financial fiscal space we're in right now. So if you feel called to give to that, you could give a check to Heather. We're going to start trying to raise some money to start to hire these people that really understand our message. The guy that I'm interacting with is actually the son of my best friend, and so he grew up with a mom that was a spiritual teacher that was famous in this town. That she channeled Oceana way back in the day. I'm sure you know who she is. So he understands the language of the spiritual work, and it's worrying him that this place could have to move to another place, and that happened to his grandmother, and so he's feeling called to help us in this journey. So if you feel like guided to give towards that, we're going to be possibly starting it next month if we see some sort of financial support towards that. I'm also looking for some young performers, so like 20 to 30-year-olds that can play instruments, that can sing. So if you have friends and see you can be 35, I don't care, but like we need some new energy, some younger energy, so that there's 2 Sundays a month we have a band that's all youth that are going to be leading music and doing some of the younger music in the Unity world. And so that's a call to action, and you can have them reach out to me, and we're going to look at putting this band together and some singers with all of that. So if you know anyone that sings or plays a guitar or drums or bass or all of that stuff, we're looking to build to have more services for all ages. All right? So come with me with this, and we're visioning it, and we're going to see it happening. These are the next that we've been looking for, and we're excited. Do you want to join that band?
I'd like to raise some money to get some cosmetic surgery.
All right, let's all rise and close with I release. Oh.
Our prayer partners are there.
Oh, yep. Sorry, they're standing over here. If you have a prayer need, just stay seated in your seat after we're complete, and they'll come and find you and take you down to our beautiful meditation room and mirror back to you. And we also have the all-church lunch today over at La Mariposa at 12:45, and you can go have lunch with the ministers over there today. Let's rise and let's sing together. Here we go. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. be peace on earth, and let's think about Lahaina in Maui and see those people just surrounded in our love and our light and our support. Oh my gosh, and the people that are in California during the hurricane right now, and the people that have been in Long Island with the tornadoes, we got to start just supporting this Mother Earth and take care of her. So let's pray this song. Let's circle up. We're going to sing Let There Be Peace on Earth, and we're going to pray for those people right now. Around these two aisles, we'll just go up and around in a big circle holding hands. Nothing can break this circle.